name is Oindrila and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my internship experience in France, and if you are someone who's currently looking for an internship in France or considering going to France for their studies or for work, then this video might be interesting for you. In this video, I'm going to share my experience as well as some tips and reflection on what could have made it better, so keep on watching. Now, to give context, my master's degree required me to do 2 internships to validate my degree, and this is exactly what attracted me towards a master's in France compared to a similar degree in UK, because it required 2 internships which I thought would give me local experience and immerse me in the culture, as well as give me a hang of French, which I had no idea and clue of when I landed in France. My first internship was in a place called Annemasse, which was an unheard of place, and it was near the border of France and Switzerland, near Geneva. And most of my friends, they kind of almost pitied me that I'm going to this unheard of place, almost like a French campagne, like a village, and they were headed to Paris because they wanted to go to Paris and live the Parisian life. For me, I didn't have any such issues, except that I knew that none of my friends would be there and I was by myself over there and starting life afresh. I was more than happy to get an internship in marketing, which is what I always wanted, and considering I didn't speak any French, I was more than happy and grateful to have one in marketing. At that time, I was looking at automotive companies and I found one in the marketing department. My manager was German. I had 2 other co-interns. One was a Chinese girl from my college and there was a Moroccan girl from another business school. So you can sense that it was a pretty international team and we were all working for a French company. Now, my work involved doing market research, competitive intelligence, in order to understand what are the trends in the market of the product that we were manufacturing, and present that data with my insights so that the management and the company could make decisions on what products to focus on. Now, 2 months into the internship, our boss, announced to us that she will be moving to the US with the job, and we would be transitioning to other local managers, and she would be supervising from the US. And my Moroccan co-intern colleague was not quite happy with that, because she felt that she shouldn't have got us on board, she shouldn't have hired us and not disclosed that she was considering this huge move to the US, and then left us in the lurch. And at that time, I didn't think too much into it. I was just, like I said, very happy and grateful to have found an internship in marketing without speaking French. But looking back, now that I understand the importance of mentorship in the early stages of your career, I do kind of understand her sentiment. Something I really liked about the company culture, and I would say this is something you can find in other French companies or companies in France, is that the senior manager would come in the morning and personally go to each and every employee's desk and shake hands with them and greet them. This might not seem like a big deal, but I believe it has a huge impact on interpersonal relationships, and this is something I did find in my second internship too. So I do believe it's a very French thing to do this, and I did not see it in other companies later on, so it makes me feel this is a very French thing, and I will analyze this behavior and other work culture practices and the psychology behind it in another video. Now, about the work, I have to admit that when I was looking for a marketing internship, the kind of work that I was doing in this company, this automotive parts supplier company, even though it was in marketing, it was not what I had envisioned when I had started looking out for a marketing internship. My job involved me sitting at the desk, obviously because it's a corporate job, and doing research online, speaking to people in the industry to understand what the trends would be, and analyzing and synthesizing that data to form insights. And that involved putting data in Excel and then in PPT and then presenting it to the team. Now, it can be very interesting for someone else, but for me, I felt like I was spending a lot of time looking at Excel sheets and putting in data. It almost felt like a data entry job where I had to find out what would be the penetration of the product in each country or each car manufacturer and so on. I'm not going to go into the details for someone who might not be interested in the actual details, but if you are, I'm happy to make another video about what different types of functions in marketing there can be. So let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so I did not like that part, and it was not dynamic. Like I couldn't see the results of my work in some time, because the idea was to come up with a strategy for the company in the next 5 years, and so my ideal job would include me getting to see results in a shorter time frame, and that's the kind of person I am. Plus, I am someone who has to be completely, on board with the mission and believe in the mission of the company. So I'm not someone who's into cars as such, and therefore I think that that was also a disconnect where I could not really get behind the mission, and I need to be totally behind the mission for me to be 100% motivated. And um, probably it's an Aquarian trait. There are some people who don't need to completely be invested in the mission and they can be 100% motivated. That's great, but I'm not that person. I ended up feeling demotivated, not looking forward to work, trying to get out of work as soon as possible, not invested in my projects. When you don't really care about the mission, not care, but you're not as invested in the mission, and then you are feeling all sorts of self-doubt and thinking you're not good enough for the job. So those are the things I was going through, and also the fact that I was completely alone. I didn't have my friends, though I did go on to make a lot of friends, which I again speak about in another video. So I was sharing all this with my friend who was European, and I was telling her that I was not having a great time, and she told me, so just change, look for another internship. And I was like, no, it won't look good on my CV. Oh, by the way, my the other co-interns had also moved out, because one of them had finished her internship, and the other Moroccan girl, she wanted to go to Australia, so she quit and she found another internship in Australia. So yeah, I was telling my European friend about it, and she was like, so just quit and find something else. And I was like, no, that won't look good on my CV. And she was like, your life is more important than your CV, which at that time I did not quite absorb and implement. But later on, when I was having a similar conversation with another Indian friend, and he was like, yeah, but you have to think about your CV. And he was telling me on the lines of that you have to prioritize your CV more than your life. And I replied to him saying that my life cannot be captured in a CV. My life is more than a piece of paper, implying to me that I had understood a little bit of what my friend had told me 7 to 8 months earlier. As you can see, my European friend clearly prioritized her lifestyle over work and her CV, whereas my Indian friend was of the opinion that the CV should be prioritized. And I see this especially not amongst all Indians, but definitely amongst Indians who are in the business world, corporate sector, and they think that doing more and working harder is the key to success, whereas Europeans have a completely different mindset. And that, for me, over there is the beauty of traveling, international studies, and exposing yourself to people from various backgrounds. In my second internship, it was a completely different setting, location, industry, and very glamorous company. Not fashion or luxury, but still very glamorous, with its share of juicy details and scandals. So if you want to get notified when I drop that video next, then please hit the bell button so that you get notified. And in the meanwhile, you can watch these two videos here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.